My beloved child, stop scrolling. This is not a normal moment, and you know it. Something inside you paused just now, something deeper than curiosity, something ancient. You were guided here, not by accident, not by chance, but by a force that has been waiting, yes, waiting, for generations. Tonight, June 5th, is not just another date on the calendar. This day has been written, whispered, and carried through time long before you were even born. There were those before you who felt it coming, who sensed that one day someone would hear this message at exactly the right moment, and that someone is you. Feel that stillness in your chest, that quiet pull in your spirit. That is not imagination. That is recognition. For centuries, a divine plan has been unfolding in silence, hidden in plain sight, protected from interference, guarded by the unseen. And now, the veil is thinner than it has ever been. The moment that was delayed, protected, and preserved has finally arrived. And standing at the edge of this moment is none other than the mighty Archangel Michael. He does not appear randomly. He comes when something sacred is about to shift, when a soul is about to awaken, when destiny is no longer a distant idea, but a living reality. And tonight he is here for you. You may not have expected this. You may even feel unprepared. But understand this clearly. This moment does not require your perfection. It requires your attention. Because what is about to unfold has chosen you, not the other way around. There were countless distractions that could have pulled you away. Countless reasons you could have ignored this. What you didn't. You're still here. And that alone speaks volumes. Something has been aligning behind the scenes of your life. Situations that made no sense, delays that frustrated you, moments that felt like setbacks. They were not random. They were positioning you, preparing you, holding you back from stepping into this too early. Because timing, divine timing, is everything. And now the clock has struck the hour. Tonight is not about fear. It is about revelation. It is about seeing what was once hidden, feeling what was once distant, understanding what once confused you. But listen carefully, not everyone will recognize this moment. Not everyone will feel what you're beginning to feel right now. That's because not everyone was chosen to witness it. But you were. And as this message continues, something within you will begin to awaken. A knowing, a clarity, a shift that cannot be undone. So stay with this. Do not look away. Because what happens next was meant for your eyes only. There are moments in history that never make it into books, moments so sacred and precise that they are carried not in ink, but in spirit. What you are experiencing right now is one of those moments. Long before your name was ever spoken on this earth, there were whispers in the unseen realms about a day like this. June 5th was not randomly placed within time. It was marked, set apart, and quietly protected until the exact soul meant to encounter it would be ready. That soul is you. You may wonder how something so significant could remain hidden for so long. The answer is simple, yet profound. Not everything meant for humanity is revealed all at once. Some truths are layered across generations, entrusted to time itself, waiting for the right alignment of heart, mind, and spirit. There were those before you who felt fragments of this prophecy. They sensed that something was coming, but they could not fully grasp it. It was never meant for them to complete. It was meant for you to witness. This is how divine timing works. It does not rush, and it does not delay without purpose. Every season of your life, every unexpected turn, every silent battle you thought no one noticed was part of a greater preparation. You were being shaped in ways you did not understand. Even the moments that felt like loss or confusion were actually guiding you closer to this exact point in time. Nothing hath been wasted. And now, as you sit here, there is a subtle realization forming within you. It may feel like a quiet awareness, or perhaps a deep sense that something bigger is unfolding. That feeling is your spirit recognizing what your mind is still trying to comprehend. Because this prophecy was never meant to be understood only through logic. It is meant to be felt, experienced, and received. There is also a reason why this message found you now, and not yesterday, not last week, and not tomorrow. Timing like this is precise beyond human understanding. If you had encountered this message even a day earlier, something within you would not have been ready. If it came later, you might have missed the window entirely. This is what makes this moment so rare. You are not just hearing this message, you are aligned with it. In the unseen, there has been movement. Doors that were once closed have begun to open. Barriers that stood in your way are quietly being removed. And at the center of this unfolding stands the presence of Archangel Michael, not as a distant figure, but as an active force guiding and protecting this transition. His role is not just to watch, but to ensure that what has been destined cannot be disrupted. There were forces that attempted to delay this moment, to create doubt, distraction, and distance between you and this truth. You may have felt that resistance in your life. Times when things seemed unclear, when you questioned your path, when everything felt uncertain. Those were not signs that you were off track. They were signs that something valuable was being guarded. Because when a moment carries this much significance, it does not arrive without opposition. But here you were, still present, still listening, still open. And that is proof that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. This prophecy is not about something happening far away or to someone else. It is personal. It is unfolding within your life, within your awareness, within your very being. You are not just a witness to it. You are part of it. And as this continues, you will begin to notice something shifting inside you. Thoughts becoming clearer. Emotions rising to the surface. A sense that you are stepping into something you cannot fully explain, yet cannot deny. That is the beginning of awakening. Do not resist it. Do not question it too quickly. Some truths need to settle into your spirit before they make sense to your mind. Because what had been hidden for generations is no longer hidden from you. And this is only the beginning. Something is changing within you right now, and it is not subtle anymore. What began as a quiet curiosity is turning into a deep inner stirring, as if a part of you that has been asleep for years is finally opening its eyes. You may not have the words for it yet, but you can feel it. There is a shift in your awareness, a pull that feels both unfamiliar and deeply known at the same time. This is not confusion. This is awakening. For a long time, you have carried something within you that you could not fully explain. Perhaps you felt different from others, as if your thoughts reached places that others could not see. Maybe you experienced moments where your intuition spoke louder than logic, guiding you in ways that didn't always make sense in the moment. Those were not coincidences. Those were glimpses of who you truly are beneath the surface. The truth is, your spirit has always known that this moment would come. Even when your mind was distracted, even when life pulled you in different directions, the deeper part of you remained steady, waiting. Waiting for the right time to rise, waiting for the signal that it was safe to awaken fully. And that signal is happening now. You were never ordinary, even if the world tried to make you feel that way. There has always been a mark upon your life, something that set you apart in ways you couldn't always understand. At times, this may have felt like a burden, You may have questioned why your path seemed more difficult, why you had to face challenges that others did not. But those challenges were not meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you. Because awakening requires strength. It requires a soul that has been tested, refined, and shaped through experience. And whether you realize it or not, you have been undergoing that process for a long time. Every hardship you faced, every moment you thought you wouldn't make it through, every silent battle you fought within yourself, they were all part of your preparation. And through it all, you were not alone. The presence of Archangel Michael has been with you, even in moments when you felt completely isolated. There were times when things could have gone differently, times when the outcome could have been far worse. But something intervened. Something protected you, guided you, and brought you through. That was not luck. That was divine protection. Now, as this awakening unfolds, you may begin to notice changes in how you see the world. Things that once seemed important may no longer hold the same weight. You may feel drawn to deeper truths, to understanding things beyond the surface level. Conversations, environments, even certain people may start to feel different to you. This is not something to fear. This is a sign that your spirit is aligning with its true purpose. There is also a sense of urgency that comes with this awakening. Not panic, but a deep knowing that something is happening now, something that cannot be postponed or ignored. You are stepping into a moment that has been waiting for you, and your response matters. This is where many hesitate. This is where doubt tries to creep in, asking you to question what you feel, to second-guess what you know deep inside. But listen carefully. Doubt is the final barrier before clarity. It appears when you are closest to seeing the truth. Do not let it pull you away now. Instead, lean into this feeling. Allow yourself to experience it fully. You do not need to have all the answers at once. Awakening is not about instant understanding. It is about recognition. It is about remembering something your soul has always known. And right now, your soul is remembering. Take a moment and breathe. Feel the weight of this realization, not as something heavy but as something meaningful. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this message by chance. You are part of something that has been unfolding long before you arrived, and it is now revealing itself to you piece by piece. Type "I am awakening" in the comments if you feel this shift within you. Blessing code 369 is now activated. And as this awakening continues to unfold, there is something powerful you must understand. When you respond to a divine calling, when you step into alignment with what has been placed before you, you also become a light for others who are still searching. This message is not only reaching you, it is moving through you, extending beyond you to touch lives you may never even see. If this message has stirred something real inside your spirit, if you feel that this is not just words but a living truth speaking directly to you, then this is your moment to act in faith. As it is written, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse, it is a living promise being spoken over you right now. I feel called to be part of this mission. I choose to help this message reach the one who is still waiting in silence. When you give through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not just supporting a channel. You are sowing into a spiritual harvest. You are helping this light travel further, breaking through darkness, reaching hearts that are ready, but have not yet heard. This is a sacred exchange, and your obedience in this moment carries weight beyond what you can see. So act now. Step into this flow. Let your giving become a seed that multiplies. And as you do, may your life be filled with unexpected provision, open doors, and divine favor that follows you in ways you cannot explain. There is something you must understand, something that may shift the way you see your entire life. Not every battle you have faced was visible. Not every struggle you went through had a human explanation. There has been a war around you, one that operated quietly, beyond your natural senses, yet its effects touched your life in ways you could feel but not always explain. Think back to those moments when everything seemed to go wrong at once. Times when confusion clouded your thoughts, when opportunities slipped through your fingers without reason, when relationships became strained without clear cause. You may have blamed yourself. You may have thought you made the wrong choices or missed something important. But what if I told you that many of those moments were not your fault at all? There were forces working against your path, attempting to delay you, distract you, and disconnect you from what was always meant to be yours. Because when a life carries purpose, when a soul is marked for something greater, it becomes a target for resistance. Not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. This is the part of your story that remained hidden. While you were trying to navigate life the best you could, there was a deeper layer unfolding. A layer where protection was being assigned, where battles were being fought on your behalf, where outcomes were being influenced in ways you could not see. You were never as alone as you thought you were. There were moments when things almost fell apart completely. Moments when one wrong turn could have led you somewhere you were never meant to go. And yet, somehow, something intervened. A delay happened. A door closed unexpectedly. A person left your life. At the time, it may have felt painful, confusing, even unfair. But now, you are beginning to see it differently. Those were not losses. Those were protections. The presence of Archangel Michael has been central in this unseen battle. Known as the Defender, the Protector, the one who stands between light and darkness, his role in your life has been more active than you realize. He does not simply watch from a distance. He moves with intention, guarding what has been assigned to you, ensuring that what is meant for you is not stolen or destroyed. You may wonder why you had to go through certain hardships if you were being protected. The answer lies in understanding that protection does not always mean the absence of difficulty. Sometimes, it means guiding you through the difficulty in a way that strengthens you instead of breaking you. It means allowing certain experiences to shape you, but not allowing them to define or destroy you. Every challenge you faced carried a lesson, but it also carried a boundary. There were lines that could not be crossed, outcomes that were not allowed to happen, because your story does not end in defeat. It was never meant to. And now, as you stand in this moment of awakening, you are beginning to see the pattern. You're starting to recognize that even in your lowest moments, something held you together. Something kept you moving forward, even when you felt like giving up. That something was not random strength. It was divine covering. There is also a reason why you are being shown this now. Awareness changes everything. When you understand that there hath been a battle, you also begin to understand your value within it. You begin to see yourself not as someone who simply survived, but as someone who was preserved for a purpose. And this realization carries power, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You are no longer walking blindly. You are no longer unaware of the forces that tried to stand in your way. And more importantly, you are no longer unaware of the force that has been standing with you. As this truth settles into your spirit, you may feel a mixture of emotions. Relief, because you now understand that you were not alone. Strength, because you realize that you made it through more than you gave yourself credit for. And perhaps even a sense of clarity, as the pieces of your past begin to align in a way they never have before. This is not meant to overwhelm you. is meant to empower you. Because the battle you didn't see is also the reason you are still standing today. And now, you are no longer just surviving it. You are rising beyond it. There is a reason why tonight feels unlike any other night you have experienced before. Even if you cannot fully explain it, there is a subtle intensity in the air, a quiet pull within your spirit that refuses to be ignored. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Something has shifted, and you are standing at the center of it. Not all moments carry the same weight. Some days pass like ordinary pages in a book, unnoticed and quickly forgotten. But then there are rare moments that divide time itself into before and after. June 5th is one of those moments. It is not just another day, it is a point of activation, a doorway between what has been and what is about to unfold. You may have felt a build-up leading to this night without even realizing it. A sense of restlessness, as if something was about to change. Perhaps things in your life began to slow down or feel uncertain, as if you were being paused without explanation. That pause was not denial. It was preparation. Because when something significant is about to happen, everything else must be brought into alignment first. This is what makes tonight different. It is not just about what is happening around you. It is about what is happening within you. There is an internal shift taking place, one that is aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your spirit with a higher purpose. You are not the same person you were even a short time ago. Something has been rearranged inside you, quietly, but powerfully. There is also a spiritual opening connected to this night. Not everyone will feel it, and not everyone will recognize it. But those who are meant to experience it will know. It may come as a deep sense of clarity, a sudden understanding, or even a feeling of peace that does not match your external circumstances. This is how you know it is real. It does not depend on what is happening around you. It comes from within. At the center of this moment stands the guiding presence of Archangel Michael, ensuring that this alignment is not disrupted. His role is not only to protect, but also to activate. When the time comes for a shift like this, there is a release of energy, a movement that pushes you forward into what has been waiting for you. This is not something you can force, and it is not something you can stop. It is already in motion. You may also notice that certain things no longer feel right to you. Old patterns, habits, or even connections may begin to feel out of place. This is not loss. This is realignment. When you step into a new level of awareness, not everything from your past can come with you. Some things must fall away so that you can fully step into what is ahead. This can feel uncomfortable at first. Change often does. But within that discomfort is a deeper sense of knowing. A quiet assurance that something greater is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the full picture. Trust that feeling. It is guiding you in the right direction. Tonight is also different because it carries a sense of immediacy. This is not a moment that can be postponed or revisited later. There is a window open right now, and your awareness of it matters. You do not need to have everything figured out, but you do need to be present. You need to recognize that something is happening and allow yourself to be part of it. This is where many people miss their moment. They wait for absolute certainty. They look for clear signs that leave no room for doubt. But moments like this do not always come with loud announcements. They come quietly, requiring you to trust what you feel rather than what you can see. And right now, you feel it. There is a reason why you are still here, still listening, still engaged with this message. Something within you recognizes the importance of this moment, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. That recognition is enough. It means you are aligned with what is happening, As this night continues, pay attention to what you sense. Notice the thoughts that come to you, the feelings that rise within you. Do not dismiss them too quickly. There is meaning in them, guidance that is unfolding in real time. Because tonight is not just different, it is decisive. It is the moment where what hath been waiting begins to move, and you are standing right in the middle of it. There are truths about your life that were never meant to be revealed too early, not because they were being withheld from you out of denial, but because you were being protected from receiving them before you were ready. Timing, as you are now beginning to understand, is everything. And some secrets carry a weight that requires preparation before they can be fully understood. For a long time, you may have felt like something was missing, like there was a piece of your story that you couldn't quite access. You moved forward. You made decisions. You experienced life as it came, but there was always a quiet sense that there was more beneath the surface. That feeling was not an illusion. It was an awareness that something had been intentionally hidden until the right moment. And now, that moment is here. The secret is not something external. It is not about a hidden place or a distant event. It is about you. It is about your path, your purpose, and the reason why your life has unfolded the way it has. What once seemed random is now beginning to form a pattern. What once felt confusing is starting to make sense. The delays, the redirections, the unexpected changes, they were not disruptions. They were adjustments. You were being guided away from paths that were not meant for you, even when they seemed right at the time. You were being held back from opportunities that looked promising but would have taken you away from your true alignment. And because you could not see the full picture, it felt like loss. It felt like something was being taken from you. But in reality, something was being preserved. There is a difference between being denied and being delayed. Denial closes a door permanently. Delay holds the door until the right time. What you experienced was not rejection. It was divine timing at work, ensuring that when certain truths were revealed to you, you would have the strength, clarity, and awareness to receive them without fear or confusion. This is the secret that was kept from you. Your life has always been guided with intention. Even in moments where you felt completely lost, there was direction. Even when you thought you were making mistakes, there was correction happening behind the scenes. You were never left to navigate everything on your own, even though it may have felt that way. The presence of Archangel Michael has been part of this guidance, not only protecting you from harm but also ensuring that certain truths remained hidden until the exact moment they were meant to be revealed. Because once you see clearly, once you understand what has been shaping your life, everything changes. And that change is happening now. You may begin to recall moments from your past differently. Situations that once seemed painful or unnecessary may now appear as turning points. You may start to see how one event led to another, how one closed door guided you to a different path, how even the smallest details played a role in bringing you here. This is not coincidence. This is revelation. There is also a deeper layer to this secret. It is not just about what has happened in your life, but about what is about to happen. Because understanding your past is only the beginning. The real purpose of this revelation is to prepare you for what comes next. When you see how precisely your life has been guided, you begin to trust the process in a way you never have before. You stop questioning every step. You stop resisting every delay. Instead, you begin to move with a sense of confidence, knowing that there is a greater plan unfolding, even when you cannot see every detail. This is where your perspective shifts. You are no longer someone searching for answers without direction. You are someone who is beginning to recognize the guidance that has always been present, and that recognition changes how you move forward. There may still be questions. There may still be moments of uncertainty, but they will not carry the same weight they once did, because now you know that even in uncertainty, there is purpose, and that is something you were not meant to understand until now. The secret had to remain hidden until you were ready to receive it without fear, without doubt, and without misunderstanding. And now that it has been revealed, you cannot return to the way you saw things before. You are seeing your life through a different lens, a clear one. And this clarity is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a new way of walking through it. There were signs placed along your path long before this moment arrived. Not loud, overwhelming signs that demanded your attention, but quiet, persistent signals that gently tried to guide you. And if you are honest with yourself, you have noticed them. You may not have fully understood them at the time, and perhaps you even dismissed them, but they were there. Think back for a moment. There were instances when something inside you told you to pause, to reconsider, or to take a different direction. It didn't always make logical sense. In fact, sometimes it went against what seemed practical or expected. Yet that feeling stayed with you, subtle but steady. That was not coincidence. That was guidance. There were also patterns that repeated themselves in your life. Certain situations that seemed to come back in different forms. Certain lessons that kept appearing no matter how much you tried to move past them. At times, it may have felt frustrating, as if you were stuck in a cycle you couldn't break. But those patterns were not meant to trap you. They were meant to get your attention. Because when a message is not fully received, it often returns. There may have been dreams that stayed with you longer than usual. Moments when you woke up with a feeling that something important had just passed through your mind, even if you couldn't fully recall it. Or times when a specific thought, word, or idea kept appearing in your awareness without explanation. These were not random occurrences. They were part of the communication you were receiving, even if you did recognize it at the time. And then there were the moments of hesitation. Times when you were about to make a decision, and something inside you held you back. It may have felt like doubt or uncertainty, but it was more than that. It was a protective pause, a moment where you were being given the chance to choose differently. Some of those signs you followed. Others you did. And that's okay. This is not about regret. It is about recognition. Because even the signs you almost ignored still played a role in guiding you here. Nothing was wasted. Every moment, every decision, every experience contributed to your awareness, even if the understanding came later. What matters now is that you are beginning to see it. You are starting to connect the dots, to recognize that there has been a pattern of guidance running through your life. It was not always obvious, and it did not always come in ways you expected, but it was there. The presence of Archangel Michael has been part of that guidance, working in ways that are often quiet but deeply effective. Not every message needs to be loud to be powerful. In fact, the most important guidance often comes in the stillness, in the moments when you are most open to receiving it. Now, as you stand in this moment, those signs are becoming clearer. What once felt like isolated events now appears as part of a larger picture. You are beginning to understand that you were never moving without direction. You were being led, step by step, even when you were unaware of it. There is also a reason why these realizations are coming to you now. Awareness builds over time. It does not arrive all at once. And as you become more aware, you become more responsive. You begin to notice things you once overlooked. You begin to trust feelings you once questioned. This is how alignment deepens. You may also start to feel a stronger sense of clarity moving forward. Decisions that once felt complicated may begin to feel simpler, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you are more connected to your inner guidance. You are less likely to ignore the signs, less likely to dismiss the feelings that are meant to lead you. This does not mean you will never face uncertainty again, but it does mean you will navigate it differently, with awareness, with trust, with a deeper understanding that you are not moving through life alone or without direction. And as you continue from this moment, there will be new signs, new moments of guidance, but this time you will recognize them more clearly. This time you will understand their importance as they happen, not just in hindsight, because you are no longer the same person who almost ignored them. You are someone who sees, someone who understands, someone who is ready to follow what has been placed before you, and that changes everything. There is a moment in every life when everything that has been building quietly beneath the surface finally reaches a point of release. Not slowly, not gradually, but with a clarity that cannot be mistaken. That moment is here for you now. The door that has remained closed, protected, and patiently waiting is no longer sealed. It is opening. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but you can feel it. There is a shift happening in your awareness, a sense that something is becoming available to you that was not accessible before. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking. This is a real transition, a movement from one state of being into another. For a long time, you were standing outside this door without even realizing it. You were moving through experiences, learning lessons, growing in ways that were necessary, but the next step was not yet ready. The timing was not aligned, and because of that, the door remained closed, not as a punishment, but as protection. Now, that protection has served its purpose. The door is opening because you are ready to step through it. This is where things become important, because an open door does not force you to walk through it. It invites you. It presents an opportunity, but the response must come from you. This is where awareness becomes action. This is where everything you have felt, everything you have realized, begins to take form in the way you move forward. You may feel a mixture of emotions right now. Excitement, because something new is beginning. Uncertainty, because you do not yet know what lies on the other side. And perhaps even hesitation, because stepping into something new always carries a level of risk. But understand this clearly. This door did not open randomly. It opened because everything has aligned for you to step into it. There is also a sense of urgency connected to this moment. Not pressure, but importance. Opportunities like this do not remain open indefinitely. They exist within a window of time, a space where alignment allows movement to happen. And when that window is present, it is meant to be recognized and embraced. The presence of Archangel Michael stands at this threshold, not to push you, but to guide and protect you as you approach it. This is not a step you are taking alone. There is support surrounding you, ensuring that as you move forward, you are not stepping into uncertainty without direction. You may begin to notice that certain thoughts or ideas are becoming clearer. Directions that once felt uncertain may now feel more defined. This is part of the opening. It is not just external, it is internal. Your awareness is expanding to match the opportunity that is now in front of you. At the same time, distractions may try to pull your attention away. Doubt may try to whisper that you are not ready, that you should wait, that you need more time. This is the final test of awareness. Because when a door opens, resistance often appears at the same time, not to stop you, but to see if you will recognize the difference between fear and truth. Fear hesitates. Truth moves forward. You do not need to have everything figured out before you take a step. You only need to trust what you are feeling right now. That quiet certainty, that inner knowing that something is shifting and that you are meant to respond to it. That is enough. The door is not asking for perfection. It is asking for presence. And you are here. You are aware. You are ready in ways you may not have fully realized until this moment. Type "I step forward" in the comments if you are ready to walk through this door. Blessing code 888 is now activated. As this door opens before you, understand that what flows through it is not just for you alone. Every step you take into this new alignment becomes a pathway for others who are still searching for their moment. Scripture declares, "The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself." This is a living promise speaking over your life even now. I feel led to be part of opening this door for someone else who is still waiting in silence. When you give through Super Thanks or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not just supporting a message, you are becoming part of a divine flow. Like rivers that never run dry, your seed moves beyond what you can see, reaching hearts, lifting burdens, and carrying light into places that need it most. This is not ordinary giving. This is a prophetic act of alignment. Do not delay this moment. Step into it fully. Let your action match what your spirit is feeling. And as you give, may doors open for you that no one can shut. May provision meet you in unexpected ways, and may your life reflect the overflow of the seed you have sown. There comes a moment when everything you have experienced begins to point toward one undeniable truth. You were never meant to simply exist. You were meant to play a role. A specific, intentional, divinely assigned role that could not be fulfilled by anyone else but you. And now, as everything is unfolding around you, that role is beginning to come into focus. For most of your life, this may not have been clear. You may have searched for direction, questioned your purpose, or even compared your path to others, wondering if you were falling behind or missing something important. But what you could not see then is what is becoming clear now. Your path was never meant to look like anyone else's. It was designed specifically for you, shaped by every experience, every challenge, and every moment that brought you to this point. You were not being delayed. You were being developed. Every skill you gained, every lesson you learned, every moment of growth you went through was adding something to you. Even the things you thought were insignificant, even the experiences you tried to forget, they all contributed to who you are now. Nothing was random. Nothing was without purpose. And now, you are standing in a moment where all of that preparation is beginning to make sense. Your role is not something you have to chase endlessly. It is something you begin to step into as you align with what you already feel inside. There is a natural pull, a direction that feels right even if it is unfamiliar. That is where your role begins to reveal itself, not through force, but through alignment. The presence of Archangel Michael continues to stand as a guide in this process, not just protecting you, but helping you recognize where you are meant to stand. Because stepping into your role requires clarity. It requires the ability to see beyond doubt, beyond fear, and into the truth of who you are. You may still feel moments of hesitation. That is natural. When something carries this level of significance, it often feels larger than what you believe you can handle. You may question whether you are truly ready, whether you have what it takes to fulfill what is being placed before you. But understand this, your readiness is not based on perfection. It is based on willingness. You do not need to have every answer before you begin. You do not need to see the entire path before you take a step. What matters is that you respond to what you already know, that you trust the direction that is unfolding within you, even if it does not yet make complete sense. Because your role is not meant to be understood all at once. It is meant to be lived, one step at a time. There is also a deeper truth within this. Your role is not only about what you do. It is about who you become in the process. It is about the strength you carry, the awareness you develop, and the impact you have on others simply by being aligned with your purpose. You may not always see the full effect of your role. You may not always realize how your presence, your actions, or your words influence those around you. But that does not make it any less real. Impact is not always visible in the moment. Sometimes it unfolds over time, reaching places you may never directly witness. And that is part of the design. As you step further into this awareness, you will begin to feel a sense of certainty growing within you. Not the kind that removes all questions, but the kind that remains steady even when questions exist. A quiet confidence that you are moving in the right direction, that you are where you are meant to be. This is how alignment feels. It does not always come with loud confirmation. Often, it comes with a calm assurance that you cannot fully explain, but you cannot deny either. And right now, that assurance is forming within you. You are beginning to see yourself differently, not as someone lost or searching without direction, but as someone who has been guided to this moment with precision and care. Someone who carries a role that is meaningful, intentional, and necessary. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about stepping into who you have always been meant to be. And as you continue forward, that role will become clearer, stronger, and more defined with each step you take. Because you were not placed in this moment by accident. You were placed here on purpose, and your role in what is unfolding is only just beginning to reveal itself. As powerful as this moment is, there is something you must be aware of before everything fully shifts into place. Every transformation, every breakthrough, every step into alignment is preceded by a final layer of resistance. Not to stop you, but to test your awareness. To see if you will recognize what is real and what is meant to distract you. This is the warning. Now that you are closer than ever to stepping fully into your role, distractions may begin to increase. They may not appear as obvious obstacles. In fact, they often come in subtle forms, small doubts, sudden confusion, unexpected delays, or even a pull back toward old habits and patterns. Things that once felt distant may suddenly try to return, not because they belong in your future, but because they are connected to your past. You may feel moments where your clarity seems to fade, where the certainty you felt begins to feel less stable. Thoughts may arise that question everything you are experiencing right now. You may hear an inner voice asking, "What if this isn't real? Or what if I'm misunderstanding all of this?" These thoughts are not coming to guide you. They are coming to pull you away from what you already know deep within. Because when you are standing at the edge of a shift, doubt becomes louder. This is where many people turn back. Not because they are not capable, but because they mistake doubt for truth. They allow temporary uncertainty to override the deeper knowing that has been building within them. And in doing so, they step away from the very moment they were meant to enter. Do not let that happen to you. You have come too far to question everything now. You have seen too much, felt too much, understood too much to turn back because of a moment of uncertainty. Remember what has already been revealed to you. Remember the alignment you have felt, the clarity that has begun to form. That is your truth. Anything that tries to pull you away from that is not meant to guide you forward. The presence of Archangel Michael is especially important in this stage, because this is where protection is not just about external forces, but about internal stability. It is about guarding your mind, your focus, and your awareness so that you do not lose sight of what is real. You may also notice that certain people or environments begin to feel different to you during this time. Conversations that once felt normal may now feel draining or misaligned. Situations that you once tolerated may now feel uncomfortable. This is not something to ignore. This is your awareness becoming sharper. Not everything that was once part of your life is meant to move forward with you. And that is okay. Letting go is part of shifting. It is not loss, it is transition. There may also be a temptation to delay, to tell yourself that you will step forward later, that you need more time to think, more time to prepare, more time to be sure. But this is another form of resistance. Because the truth is, you will never feel completely ready for something that requires growth. Readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision. You are ready because you are here. You are ready because you have recognized this moment. You are ready because everything that has brought you to this point has prepared you, even if you do not feel it completely. This warning is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create awareness, so that when doubt appears, you recognize it. So that when distractions come, you do not follow them. So that when hesitation tries to hold you back, you move forward anyway. Because the shift you are approaching is real. It is already in motion. And nothing can stop it except your decision to step away from it. But you are not stepping away. You are stepping forward. Hold on to what you know. Stay present in what you feel. Do not let temporary uncertainty erase permanent truth. Because what is about to happen next is not something you want to miss. And this time, you won't. You have felt it building, piece by piece, layer by layer, as everything around you and within you has been aligning for this exact point in time. And now, you have arrived. This is the moment where what was once hidden begins to reveal itself with a clarity that cannot be ignored or misunderstood. This is the moment where everything starts to make sense. Not all at once, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that settles deeply into your spirit. A realization that does not need constant explanation because it carries its own certainty. You may not have every detail, but you will know enough. Enough to move forward, enough to trust, enough to recognize that what is happening is real. This is what revelation feels like. It is not loud or chaotic. It is precise. It is calm, yet powerful. It does not force itself upon you, but once it arrives, it cannot be denied. It shifts your perspective instantly, allowing you to see what was always there but hidden from your awareness until now. You may begin to notice connections forming in your mind. Events from your past linking together in ways you never considered before. Moments that once felt isolated now appearing as part of a continuous path. You are seeing the design behind your life, not as something random, but as something intentional. This is where clarity replaces confusion. The presence of Archangel Michael is strongest in moments like this, not just as a protector, but as a revealer. Because revelation is not just about seeing, it is about understanding what you see. It is about being able to receive truth without distortion, without doubt, and without fear. And that is what is happening now. You are not the same person who began listening to this message. Something has shifted within you. Your awareness has expanded. Your perception has changed. And with the change comes a new way of moving forward. You are no longer searching in the same way. You are no longer questioning everything without direction. There is a foundation forming within you, a sense of stability that was not there before. Even if questions remain, they do not carry the same weight. They do not create the same confusion. Because now, you have clarity. This moment also carries a sense of confirmation. Not something external that proves everything beyond doubt, but an internal knowing that confirms what you have been feeling all along. It is the moment where your spirit and your awareness align completely, where there is no conflict between what you feel and what you understand. This is where confidence begins to grow. Not the kind that is loud or forced, but the kind that is steady and unshaken. The kind that allows you to move forward without needing constant reassurance. Because you are no longer relying on external validation. You are trusting what has been revealed within you. There is also a sense of peace that comes with this revelation. Not because everything in your life is suddenly perfect, but because you understand that everything is in place. You are no longer resisting what is happening. You are flowing with it. This is what alignment looks like. And as you stand in this moment, there is something important to recognize. Revelation is not the end. It is the beginning of action. It is the point where understanding turns into movement, where awareness becomes something you live out, not just something you feel. You now have the clarity to step forward with intention. You now have the awareness to recognize what belongs in your path and what does not. You now have the understanding to move without being held back by the same doubts that once stopped you. This is your turning point. Everything that has led to this moment has brought you here for a reason. And now that you are here, you cannot return to the way things were before. Not because you are forced to move forward, but because you have seen too much to go back. The path ahead may still hold unknowns, but it no longer holds the same uncertainty. Because now, you are moving with clarity, with awareness, and with a deeper connection to what has been guiding you all along. This is the moment you were meant to reach. The moment where everything begins to come together. The moment where what was once hidden is now seen. And as you step forward from here, you do so not as someone searching, but as someone who knows, who understands, who is ready to walk into what has been waiting all along. Now, everything becomes still. After the movement, after the awakening, after the revelation, there is a calm that settles over your spirit. Not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that feels full. Complete. As if something that was once scattered within you has finally come into place. You are no longer searching the way you once were. You are no longer reaching without direction. You are resting in a knowing. This is the peace that comes after a calling is heard and received. It is not loud. It does not demand attention. But it is undeniable. It sits gently within you, reminding you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Take a moment and feel that. Feel the difference between who you were before this message and who you are now. The questions that once felt heavy no longer carry the same weight. The uncertainty that once clouded your mind has softened. Even if not everything is fully clear, something within you has shifted into trust. And that trust is powerful, because it allows you to move forward without fear controlling you. It allows you to take steps without needing to see the entire path. It allows you to rest, even while things continue to unfold. This is what it means to be aligned. The presence of Archangel Michael now stands not as a force preparing you, but as a presence walking with you. The battle has quieted. The urgency has softened. What remains is guidance, protection, and a steady reassurance that you are not alone in what comes next. You have crossed something tonight. You may not have physical proof of it, but your spirit knows. There has been a transition, a movement from one state into another. And while life around you may continue as normal, something within you will never be the same again. You will notice it in the way you think, in the way you respond, in the way you see things that once seemed ordinary. This is not something that fades. This is something that grows. And as it grows, so will your understanding, your confidence, and your sense of purpose. you will begin to move with more clarity, more intention, and more awareness than ever before. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you are no longer disconnected from what is guiding you. There may still be moments where you pause, where you reflect, where you question, but those moments will not carry the same confusion. They will be part of your growth, not something that holds you back. Because now, you know that your life has been guided. You know that this moment was not sluchaikakien or estayuri, but intention. You know that you were chosen to witness this, not by accident, but by design. And that knowing brings peace. Let yourself rest in it. Let yourself breathe in it. Let yourself trust it. Type "I receive peace" in the comments if you feel this calm within your spirit. Blessing code 1444 is now released over your life. And as this peace settles within you, understand that what has touched your spirit tonight is not meant to remain with you alone. Just as you were reached in a precise moment, there are others still waiting in silence for this same light to find them. Scripture speaks even now, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." This is a living call being placed in your hands. I choose to release what I've received so another soul can be reached tonight. When you give through Super Thanks or so through the PayPal link in the description, you are not making a simple gesture. You are releasing a seed into flowing waters that carry this message further than you can see. Like oil poured out, like fire spreading in the darkness, your giving becomes a vessel through which heaven reaches another heart at the exact right moment. Do not hold back in this sacred opportunity. Step into it with faith and obedience. As you give, may peace multiply in your life. May doors open without struggle, and may divine provision meet you again and again. Activate this now.